This conference will now be recorded.
No, not the badge. There'll still be some more donations come in, but they have the silent auction goes till 11. Oh, I forgot to say.
Yeah, it does. And they keep outbidding me. I get one every 2 or 3 hours. Somebody's
But it's been close to 100,000.
April and I were doing the math. We thought they made 60,000 just that night. Yeah, we thought they made that night.
good.
That's not bad at all. That's a good evening for them. Well, the online auction's still going on. Yeah, that's what he was saying. It was to the 11th.
They could be close to 100,000.
And then the matching funds, yeah, everybody put up.
The matching.
Up to 10,000.
Okay, I was going to say it had to be 10.
We got some,
It's 5:30. Let's go ahead and start our meeting, please. Roll call.
Commissioner Beeson,
Present.
Commissioner Spillman,
Here,
Commissioner Stover,
Here.
Commissioner Tweedy,
Here.
Mayor Warren.
Here. If you want to stand for the opening, Ms. Legis, please do.
Let's pray. Father, I thank you for allowing us all to come here tonight. We just ask that you be with the city commission as they make the decisions. May they be the right decisions. And we just ask that everybody that's coming to speak is able to speak clearly. And we also want to thank you for providing us with a new chief, a new police chief, and we thank you for his service to the community as well. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there any additions, deletions to the agenda? Okay. Need approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion on it? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number one, awards and proclamations.
The City of Arkansas City is an Award of Excellence recipient for the 2021 wastewater treatment plant improvement project presented by the Associated General Contractors of America Incorporated.
so Mayor and Commissioners, I might have Rod Philo and Kyle Bluebach come up. As you know, the last several years, we've been working on the wastewater treatment plant renovations. And Mayor Warren and I had a chance to go to Wichita about a week ago Friday, and to attend an award ceremony from the Associated General Contractors of Kansas. And our project was selected as runner-up in the state for projects for this year. There was a lot more glamorous projects, things like a volleyball, K-State volleyball arena with an Olympic Training Center on it, a complete new Catholic church, things like that. When you look at that, and our project was awarded the runner-up, but that's pretty good. Now, this was a complicated project. We had to keep treating the water as they were taking things offline and renovating and bringing up to code. So Rod and his staff did a tremendous job of keeping the plant running during that time.
How long did this process take?
I say construction went 2 years.
Yeah.
Designed a year before it. So
And we just got done here.
Yeah, we just did get done. And we haven't got suspension completion yet. So we're still doing a little bit of fixing a little bit of. I'm sorry, I can't think of it.
Fine-tuning?
Well, I'm trying to think of, what do you call that list at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, the punch list. I had a few punch lists.
Well, they assured us that we're going to be under budget, what they told us. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, we had contingency left, so.
Yeah.
So I guess anyway, it shows when you have good people and good contractors and good engineering firms and working together as a good team, we can achieve. So Congratulate you guys.
Recognition of visitors.
Appoint and swear in new Chief Jim Holloway.
All right. So Mayor Warren and City Commissioners, I'm happy to announce the appointment of Jim Holloway as the Chief of Police for our Kansas City Police Department. That was effective February 24th of 2024. So Jim Holloway has dedicated an impressive 32 years of exemplary service to the ACPD, and his recent role as captain allowed him to seamlessly transition to the position of interim chief in January of 2024. Over the past few months, I've had the opportunity to engage in conversations with Jim, gaining insight into his vision for the department, and I'm confident that his extensive experience and unwavering commitment will contribute to outstanding leadership in the years to come. Jim's journey with ACPD began when he graduated from the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center as part of the 107th Basic Training Class on June 23rd of 1989. Throughout his tenure, Jim has worked under the leadership of 6 ACPD chiefs: Bill Rice, Orrin Skiles, Dan Gibbons, Sean Wallace, Dan Ward, and Eric Burr. His vast experience and familiarity with the department makes him a valuable asset to our community. Jim's dedication to professional growth is evident in his participation in various leadership and management training programs, including Homeland Security Certificate. It was an intelligence LED led for policing LE executives, commanders, and managers. He's participated in the Kansas Police Administrators Seminar sponsored by the Kansas Police Chiefs. He has got a certificate in supervision through WSU, Center for Public Management and Development. Attended FBI Central States Law Enforcement Executive Development Seminar, and has earned the KU Public Management Center CPM Law Enforcement Leadership Academy Command School. So please join me in congratulating Jim Holloway as he takes on the role of ACP Chief. His wealth of experience and dedication to the community will undoubtedly contribute to the continued safety and prosperity of our Kansas City. So.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Kansas,
and the state of Kansas,
my community,
my community,
and the agency I serve.
and the agency I serve.
I will always have the courage
I will always have the courage
to hold myself and others
to hold myself and others
accountable for our actions.
accountable for our actions.
I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties imposed upon me
the duties imposed upon me
as police chief
as police chief
of the city of Arkansas City
of the city of Arkansas City
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Have my wife Teresa to come up and pin my new collar brass on. There you go. Teresa can do a lot. Every night before I go to work.
I got him. Right. Good.
Thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to leading the department. It's a great department that I've inherited and have worked with a long time. If you don't mind, I'd like to make a few introductions of some of the guests that came to support me tonight. First of all, my wife, Teresa. We've been married 32 years last week. Through all night shifts and all my guys back there, they all know what we go through, calls in the middle of the night, getting called in for this and that. And I thank her for that. Our five kids made it. You guys will stand up. Kelly, Preston, Nathan, Savannah, and Preston Buck, Kennedy. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. And Layla, our grandmother, Kelly's daughter. My mother-in-law, Pam Rickards from Ardmore, Oklahoma. They all drove up from Ardmore today. Just I really appreciate it. My parents, Jim and Joyce Holloway, they were at the academy when I graduated in 1989. And all these guys back here, I look forward to continue to working forward, and I appreciate your support each and every day. Great team. Thank you. Now I have two special guests right back there. My very first boss in high school, I worked for Marilyn and her husband, Dick Mars, on the farm. And she came to support me today. I really appreciate that. And Fern Knocky, thank you very much. Again, thank you all.
Banquet a week ago last Friday, and it was an honor and privilege to be there and see that happen and see how happy the policemen were happy. You know, you were happy. You could tell the excitement there. Everybody's happy. The whole room was filled up, and I knew that I called Randy that evening and told him, "You're the one." So
Well, thank you.
yeah, so you could see it. So
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jim, we have a.
Thank you.
Five more days. I didn't turn you in. Appreciate it. Cops all wait when
number 4, the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda as written.
Second. Okay, it's been moved to second. Any discussion on the consent agenda? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. New business.
So under City Manager Department, item number 1 is an ordinance annexing, incorporating within, and adding territory to the city of Arkansas City, Kelly County, Kansas, a municipal corporation in conformity with KSA 12520C and all acts mandatory thereof or supplemental thereto at a location commonly known as 28379 81st Road, Arkansas City, Kansas.
Well, Mayor and Commission, I was here in January, and at that meeting, I think on the 16th, you passed a resolution requesting the County Commission look at this annexation to determine whether or not it would hinder the growth of another city. Well, I took that to them in February, and on February 20th, they did pass a resolution authorizing us to continue with this process. And just as a reminder, this is for the Exinoa Cultural and Immersion Center that will be at that location. It's just a 5-acre tract that's on 81st Road. So
right across from Country Club Road.
yeah.
Can we put these two ordinances together, or do we have to do them individually?
Individually, yes, sir.
Yeah, there's 3 of them, sure.
Exactly 3 of them.
Can they say approve item as written? Is that appropriate? instead of reading all. I think that's the challenge, is a lot to read.
Okay, yeah.
Certainly.
That
I'll make a motion.
it's-
An ordinance annexing, incorporating within, and adding a territory to the Arkansas City, Cali County, Kansas Municipal Corporation in conformity with the provisions of KSA 12520C and all acts mandatory thereof or supplemental thereto at a location commonly known as 28379 81st Road, Arkansas City, Kansas.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved to second, or 2 seconds, I guess. Is there any other discussion on it? This will be a roll call vote. Okay, if not, go ahead.
Commissioner Beeson,
Yes.
Commissioner Spillman,
Yes.
Commissioner Stover,
Yes.
Commissioner Tweedy,
Yes.
and Mayor Warren.
Yes, motion carries. Number 2,
An ordinance authorizing the rezoning of 28379 81st Road from an R1 low-density residential district to an R3 high-density residential.
So when you annex a property, it comes in as that R1 low density residential district. I looked through the regulations to see how in the world I would classify this facility. And the closest thing I could come up with was a nonprofit institutional use. That is allowed in the R3 district with a conditional use permit, which is why we have the next item. That's the most restrictive district, which is kind of what we were shooting for there. So this would make that happen. The Planning Commission did review this, held their public hearing in January, and they recommended approval of it.
I move that we accept an ordinance authorizing the rezoning of 28379 81st Road from R1 low density residential district to R3 high density residential district.
Second.
okay, it's been moved and second. Any other discussion on it? Okay, if not, it's a roll call vote.
Commissioner Beeson,
Yes.
Commissioner Spillman,
Yes.
Commissioner Stover,
Yes.
Commissioner Tweedy,
Yes.
Mayor Warren.
Yes, motion carries. Number 3,
An ordinance granting a conditional use permit to allow a nonprofit institution of an educational nature in an R3 high-density residential district located at 28379 81st Road, requested by Etzno Conservancy in the city of Arkansas City, Kansas.
All right, so this, again, it requires a conditional use permit to be fully compliant with zoning. So what this would do is it places a couple conditions on it. One of them would be to keep traffic from going north on 81st Road, so keep them going south. Part of that road is paved, part of it is not. And then the second one was to keep the parking off of that road. It's a narrow county road. They didn't have an issue with that because there's parking planned for on site. So that's the 2 conditions that would be imposed by that issuance of that permit.
okay,
I make a motion that we accept an ordinance granting a conditional use permit to allow nonprofit institution of an educational nature in an R3 high-density residential district located at 28379 81st Road, requested by the Etzno Conservancy in the city of Arkansas City, Kansas.
Second.
it's been moved second. Any other discussion? I've got one. How big is that parking lot going to be, Sandy? We're going to have there.
It will accommodate 4 buses and about 100, up to 150 vehicles.
Okay, all right. That should be adequate. Thank you. Any other questions? If not, it's a roll call vote.
Commissioner Beeson,
Yes.
Commissioner Spillman,
Yes.
Commissioner Stover,
Yes.
Commissioner Tweedy,
Yes.
Mayor Warren.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Number 4,
A resolution authorizing the city of Arkansas City to cover a portion of the roof replacement cost to the city-owned building located at 115 East Radio Lane, currently occupied by the City Kelly County Health Department, for an amount not to exceed $13,631.67.
So the city owns the building that the health department operates out of. We do have a lease agreement with them, and they are responsible to maintain the building. The roof over there has been needing some repair for a while. They were getting some leaks this past winter, and they got those fixed and got a bid to repair the roof, and it was $33,631.67. They have basically $20,000 budgeted for the repairs on the building this year. So that left them short that $13,667. So the request would be for us to pick up the difference. They'll pay the $20,000 and we'll pick up the $13,631.67. That really kind of covers the items of the roof that need to be brought up to code that aren't up to current code now. That was about a $12,000 bill to bring it up to code, and then about $21,000 for the roof repairs and stuff. So just kind of some background on that. There was some questions at the work session on Friday if there had been if a bid had been done with other roofers. And Tom got back to me, and he had reached out to several roofers in the area, some in Ark City and in Winfield. A couple of them didn't have time to deal with it at the time and didn't give him a quote. And so he did get this quote. It was the one quote he was able to get. So.
The letter, I would say, it looks like they reached out to 4 and 1, so I'm good with that.
Well, I'll make a motion, the resolution authorizing the city of Arkansas City to cover a portion of the roof replacement cost of the city-owned building located 115 East Radio Lane, currently occupied by the city county or Cali County Health Department for the amount not to exceed $13,631.67.
Second.
It's been moved second. Any other discussion on it?
Basically, if we don't do this, they could turn the building back to us and we have the whole thing to pay for.
Well, I mean, at some point, I mean, the worst case scenario is it continues to leak and it causes other issues in the building too. I don't think they have anywhere to go right now here in Ark City, but there's always that possibility that they consolidate everything back to Winfield, which isn't helpful for the citizens here.
Well, we need it. We don't want them in Winfield. We want them here.
Yeah.
The people here.
I think Diane's point was we kind of need to help out here,
Sure.
or it's going to be an empty building and not much use for it.
And they haven't asked for an increase in funding for a long time. So they have been operating with the same amount of funding for a number of years. So that's been a positive thing.
Right.
Okay, any other discussion on it? If not, it's a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Number 5.
Hear from Walnut Valley Disc Golf Association, Representative Artie Hicks, on ideas for a course expansion at Nabler Pond.
You're up.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you for all your work. Thank you, guys. What I'm really here, one, I guess our adoption is up, so we're going to have to redo something with that. I don't know if you know the history, but in 2021 was when we originally done an adoption on the park to put in the original course, and we did it, right? We've tried not to be a burden on Tony's crew. I mean, other than the phone calls I make to him and stuff, you know what I mean? But we've tried to maintain it the best we can, I mean, not to add to their mowing. We've added to the traffic in the place, which I think cuts down on nefarious activities, right? Because nobody, you're not going to do that whenever people are, you never know when people are there, but I tell you when they are, always. There's people at that golf course. There really is. I mean, all weekend, I got some stats that I gave you. And really quick, I'll just say what I'm here for is 2 things. One, we need to redo our adoption. We requested that be on a 2-year schedule like it was last time. They did it on a 2-year schedule because we completed the project and they had faith in us. So we'd like to, I'll see that same kind of faith, actually. We've done nothing to deter that I know of. So, but I gave you some numbers here, and these numbers are all based off of an app that is used in disc golf to score. And it keeps stuff nationwide. It tracks all of your stuff. So the numbers are greater than this. This is just the people who have used that scoring app to track their rounds.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, guess if you were to guesstimate, what was that? 10%, 25% of people probably use that app, or you think 50%?
I would say, what do you think, Mike, 50?
Yeah, I would guess about 50.
as time, like in 2022, probably it was probably more like 20-30%. And as time is going on, more people, because you want to track that. It's like anything. You want to be able to go, oh, I made a hole in one there one time, or whatever. Yeah. So I would say half are using it. But you can see the numbers and some like this first page here. This is just 2024. And it shows the busiest days and all that. But I have in the back, I gave you this little paper here. This is the best all-time stats that I could find, which was we've had 1,678 people play that course. And if you look down there on this other page, it was what, 5?
You talking about 23, that's how many people play it?
No, that's how many people have logged rounds the whole time it's been in.
Okay.
And it went in, September 2021? Something like that. We've held several tournaments there. On that back page, it's just a copy of this. The list I got here is just the towns that have people that have showed up just for those tournaments. You see the majority of the people showing up are from out of town. We have a great Wichita and Ponca contingent. It's turned into it is a destination disc golf course. If you don't play, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you do, you want to play courses that you like. You're going to play them all. Well, this is one that when they're in Ponca, they're like, man, let's go down to Arc City today. So I know for a fact that we're getting people here. We're averaging about 50 people. We have a tournament that we do on Arkalala Saturday. We don't do it to take away from anybody. The people that are going to go play at that tournament, they're not coming to Arkalala, right? But we found a way to get them here to spend some money because they still got to eat. You still got to pay, still got to fill up, still got to do all these things. So we're bringing an additional 50 people here.
It's all about tourism.
Yeah. And that's why Jill Hunter has been on board and helped give us some added cash for that to help lure some of the, the players down.
And play disc golf and go to SNO.
Exactly. And we're going to be able to compliment them. It is one of those destination areas. Tyson Jones his family runs the farm at Quail Valley, and they have a pay to play course in there. He's kind of the one that's kind of helping us spearhead this additional course that we'd like to put in the back there. Because Quail Valley is up for sale. It's been up for sale for a while. Pretty big price tag, so it's going to be a little bit before it sells probably, but it is going to sell eventually, and that course will be up in the air. So we still need a place where we can host a tournament where we have 2 quality disc golf courses, and this is.
So what are you going to have you want to do another 9 holes or 8?
No, another 18.
Is there enough room to do that?
Yeah, and if you look on that one page, now it's crude, okay? So am I, by the way. But, that one, it's got a map on it. I don't know what I did with mine, but it's got a little circle in the back. It's that
last one.
Yeah. And you see that yellow circle at the bottom. That's all under the canopy in the back, like that road that goes to the back and circles right there. That's where we're thinking to start the next one.
Is that where the walking trail is right now? You guys are going to do it down in there or?
All under that canopy. That's the big trees under there.
Right. My only question on that one is that underwater a lot of the time? I mean, it hasn't been recently.
Every 2 or 3 years, yeah.
Is it okay?
But the one we have now is too.
Okay, fair
Yeah, it is too. And that's one of the things we knew going into it. The second year we put it in, we had that big flood.
Right.
We didn't know. We were like, oh man, what's this going to look like, right? It looked like a lot of cleanup. It looked like a lot of our guys down there, throwing sticks is what it ended up looking like. We won't really be messing around with too much. If it's bigger than your hand, if that tree's bigger than your hand can go around, it stays. That's just the way we do it. You have to cut some lines sometimes, but if it's bigger than that, it stays and we go around it.
My wife and I, we go down there, I would say at least twice a week to walk the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done that for, ever since I needed to start walking. And so, and I will say that there's a lot of people down there all the time. Bobcats are working. They got trucks down there working. We go down there and sometimes we'll turn around because there's 30 people there.
Yeah.
Often. So we don't get, so we'll walk off on that other side, but they've done a great job. There's cement down. They've got cement pads down. They've got greens. I believe him when he says it's a challenging course that people look for, because we were walking through it the other day and I told April, I said, how the hell do you throw a disc through here? There were some trees in the way. It's probably very challenging.
There's a lot. Yeah.
So I think it's, from what I've seen, you guys are doing a great job down there, and I 100% believe you that this is going in the right direction.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, Tony, have you had any problems with them or anything down here?
Yeah, they keep fighting with the neighbor down there.
But you know what? I think we got that. I mean, I think we've come to an agreement where we're not leaving and she knows it and she just kind of accepts us now. I mean, pretty much we're always, I don't know, man. We didn't expect that. We didn't see her come, well, I shouldn't say that because she was here the day we came for permission, but like, I thought we could work it out a little better. Like I've told them, why don't you just smoke a brisket out here when we're out here playing and sell the meat? We'll buy it. You know what I mean? You can't play all day and smell that brisket and not want some, right? Other than that, I mean, I think we get a lot of traffic there. And what I was telling you on the collegiate thing, when I was saying Tyson, he ran this collegiate, it was the Midwest Collegiate Qualifier. And that one page or the 5 pages I got there, that'll show you all the colleges that was represented at that event. It was a 2-day event. They played our course and they played the farm at Quail Valley. And everybody on this thing rotated, played one morning, one the next morning.
Well, they like the best.
They always like ours the best.
There you
You know
go.
what I mean? Because ours is not pay to play,
I do have a question that might alleviate some of the problems with the neighbor. If she's probably concerned more with the parking. Do we have room to move parking north?
But we got that. We've never parked on that road or anything.
Right, but you park, I'm the one on the west or east side.
Yeah, and that whole field over on would it be the east side? That whole field, there's nothing in there. Like when we have an event, we park in that field.
Okay.
And for this one, you can go around to the backside there.
Right.
And there's a circle parking there. And so what we'd like to do is we'd like to go in and just put temporary baskets up. And we're not to the point where we can pour pads or anything like that. Everything we've done, I mean, it should be noted that we've done this, we've self-funded everything we've done. And when I say that, I mean, we probably have $15,000 out there. I mean, it's not a lot when we go talking about infrastructure for a city, right? But I mean, we've got more money than what it takes to fix that roof over there.
So who funds that?
The people.
Donation.
Yeah, I mean, we went and got sponsors to do the first one, and the sponsors paid for a sign in a basket. And when it was time to do concrete, we take some money off of the events that we run. And when Tyson runs an event out there, he gives us so much per head that shows up out of that. And we just keep putting it back, and we had enough money to do concrete. And it should be said too, the club did it. We brought the truck in and we were out there. I mean, Mike screened them, the whole thing, man. Like we did it all, So not saying that to say, hey, look at us. Just saying we're not coming to you saying, hey, will you guys come help us build this course? The help we want is we'd like the permission. I would love a big, container storage thing out there just to put, so we could put lawnmowers and stuff in it of our own, and we could help, take over a little of that. But I haven't asked for that formally, but I've squawked about it several times, but I'll make another, we'll talk later.
I might go out and see if,
I'd be careful about that with it being in the floodplain though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have to be careful or replace it.
Yeah, definitely. And we can do that. But right now we would love to do this. And I mean, you see the stats right now that's happened. You put that other course in, we plan to make it a little more,
challenge.
Yeah. And the one we got is challenging enough, I promise you.
Challenging.
But the more challenging it is, the more technical it is, the more people leave and go, I want revenge. And they got to come back. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. And so that's our plan for that. So we plan to self-fund it the same way. We're not going to pour concrete on that one that we know of. If we do, it'll be way later. We've got some big pads that you can, roll up and roll out, and we're going to roll them out and stick them in.
Trying to see how far back into the trees you're talking
Well, we can't go to the line. We can't go over the property line, right? I mean, we can't. What Wells owns up with the pond, the back pond.
Almost to the back pond.
Yeah, almost to the back pond. So, and we'd have to have somebody come out and at least say, hey, this is we know the property line to the west,
The fence.
Yeah, exactly. So we need somebody, we definitely want somebody to come and show us to, that line's the one we have the most concern about. Like, we just don't want to cross it, but I don't think we have to. I mean, and with this will be our third course we put in, you guys remember we did put the one in at Cox Park, a little beginner course, 9-holer with the FFA students. They built the baskets. If you go out there, that thing's used every day. every day. And what you see out there is just what it was designed for. You see families with children. I play it with my 11-year-old grandsons weekly. You know, we track it on UDIS so we can, you know, they can see how much better they're getting. So, I mean, it's a good, healthy sport, and we'd just like you guys' permission to give us the next 2 years and let us work on this project.
Randy, how we need to do this? How we need to expand and also give them the.
Well, so we'll need to renew their adoption paperwork. And so we'll work on that. We'll get that to you guys at the next meeting and have authority on how we want that worded.
And what about his expansion on the?
Yeah, we'll include that in the renewal for the current, we'll incorporate the expanded.
Margie, I'm glad your dream has come true.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about that for 10 years.
And I did set in Visit Arc City meetings and said, I'm going to get a course put down there. And what I learned is I can't do it. I got to have a group of people with that same passion. And then finally, when I gave up, somebody in the group said, hey, why isn't there a course out there? And I said, because we don't have that energy. And boom, we got that energy, you know? And it's a great asset to our community. I mean, drive out there any Saturday and take a picture if you want of those license plates. The majority of them ain't from Cali County. You know, I mean, they're coming from all over and they left their house that day to come here.
Is there a sign close to the highway that says that course is there?
No, we have a course map sign as you pull in now, thanks to LG Pipe. They donated the money for that. But basically, UDisc has a map on it, and you click courses near me, and then you can click on that and just get directions straight to it. But there's nothing like out on the highway side.
I doubt they let you put it on the highway side. That's
Well, probably not in the right of way, but I mean on the property.
No, and I believe I've changed it. I thought we even got it added to the city's website on when it talks about parks, that it's, you know, it is a great walking trail, but it's a disc golf course first now.
Do we have that on our thing or not?
The disc golf course on there? I'm not sure if it's on there or not.
I know we have it on Visit Arc City stuff because I went in and made
Wow, look at
change.
that on there, you know.
Yeah, I think.
Because I think honestly, that's what's happened is it's turned into a disc golf course that has a hiking trail in it. You know, now.
Let's not get rid of the hiking trail.
No, we would never do that.
I'm teasing you.
The college track stuff, they go running in there in the morning. And they didn't used to, but he said, man, you got all these new trails that you guys have cut through. And they stay cut down because of the so. And these will be easier, I think, because we're under that big canopy. So we don't have as much maintaining to do on our part either.
Okay. Well, I guess you'll come back to our next meeting. We'll have a contract with you or.
When is it? When is that? Do you know? Like
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time.
Yeah. And it was on the site.
I haven't found it under.
We'll make sure it's on our website.
Yeah, we'll make sure.
Oh, okay, yeah, and if not, well, whatever you need from me, I'll help make sure we got the right stuff. I know we got it on Visit Our City and all that, so thank you guys, we appreciate your time.
You take a disc with you everywhere you go?
If I can, yeah.
Okay, under Public Service Department, number 1.
A resolution authorizing the city of Arkansas City to accept a bid from Wichita Tractor Company to purchase a 2024 Kubota utility vehicle for an amount not to exceed $20,897.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, this is to replace a unit that we have already in existence, and it's just a little utility vehicle that we use for running the levee system. We pull a little mole blaster unit with it to take care of the vermin that's along there. And we've used it for snow removal in the past during the heavy snowstorms around City Hall, up and down sidewalks on Summit Street. I think Nick and Taggart took it out first time we ever had it. I think you were Commissioner, Charlie, but it's a good little vehicle, helps out quite a bit because you don't really want to take the 1 tons down the levee system or the pickups pulling the other stuff with it, mainly because we need what vehicles we have. But this it's a nice little addition to the fleet, and it's pretty handy. One guy can use it and spray. We spray the levee system with it, the weeds control and abatement. And
They do the burn of the
trails.
when they do the burn of the field.
Walking trails, the more we're going to need small, light vehicles to go down them.
Yeah.
To service the signage and the trash cans and everything else that people are leaving us up on that levee system and various walking trails. The old unit will be traded to the park, to the cemetery crew to utilize while we trade in their John Deere. Because we had one in their budget for this year as well, but we had to cut that out, so.
Was this one newer than what the one they got?
This one will be newer than the Gator, yes.
Yeah.
That we're trading in, yes.
Well, I move that we authorize the city of Arkansas City to accept a bid from Wichita Tractor Company to purchase a 2024 Kubota utility vehicle for the amount not to exceed $20,897.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved second. Any other discussion on it?
It is a budgeted item, right?
Yes.
Any other discussion? Okay, if not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Items discussion by the city commission. We got anything? Okay, if not, comments for the audience or items are not on agenda.
Jeff Judd would like to speak about Wilson Park.
I just wanted to follow up on,
You might state your name and
I'm sorry, Jeff Judd, Ark City,
address.
1112 North Third.
Okay. Yes.
I wanted to follow up on the funding for the docking gardens down at Wilson Park and see where that is.
He's going to apply. I think he's wanting to plant flowers or something this spring stuff. So, we got that money available. He just want to know how to get it.
Yeah, so that will be through Legacy. So there's that, I can get with you and I'll get with Yasmin.
Okay, I'll come in your office.
Okay. Yeah, we did transfer some of those funds that were in the Friends of Wilson Park to it's the Ark City Beautification Fund. I don't remember exactly the name of it now, but so those dollars would be available for that. So.
All right, I'll get with you tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I won't be here in the morning. Later in the afternoon, I'll be here. So.
That's perfect.
Okay.
That's way better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Russell Graves would like to talk about he has some about a fentanyl form activities.
Sir? I've got two of them at home, Russell.
Recently, I read an article in the Russell Graves, Arkansas City, Kansas. Recently, I read an article in the Traveler where the KBI was looking for avenues to bring the dangers of fentanyl more to the forefront, make people more aware of what the dangers are to the community. I like to do certain things at the Rivers Eagle Bar and Grill. It's community oriented, and this is one of those. And I just want to be sure that you all know that you are invited as community leaders. I think it's important that we all learn more about this particular problem that we're faced with today. Hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thanks, Russell.
Yeah.
City manager updates.
There is a copy of the current projects from Nick's office. So I won't go through it, but you can just kind of see where we're at on some of the internal projects we have going. And then update on a few things. So staff, Josh, myself, and Nick and Kyle, we went over to Wichita on the 28th to meet with PEC. Some of that's the engineering firm we've been working with on new projects and kind of looking for funding sources and those types of things. So kind of the topics, items of topic that we had that day were a C-CLIP application. So we're probably looking at doing a C-CLIP project where we left off on 8th to the bridge, west to the bridge on Madison. Again, those are competitive projects, so there's no guarantee, but we'll put together, try to get a good application put together for that. We reviewed the CIP and looked at possible funding sources for some of the things that were on the CIP. Looking at safe streets for funding opportunities. And we'll get some more detail on that as we get into it. That's another street program that we'll be using. We're also going to be looking at passenger rail station assessment with them. They can, once we kind of identify a location, they can help us assess the needs of that location and what we need to do to bring it up to ADA standards and those types of things. As that all kind of rolls forward. And then the other big one that we talked about was a street condition assessment. They could help us with. So we basically do a street assessment of all the streets in the community, have a really good grading system and a way that on the CIP we can identify streets that where we need to spend money, what needs to be done, the priority, because just because one street's in pretty bad shape doesn't mean it's a priority over, because of traffic volume. There's all kinds of things we look at there. So that would help us put together a really good program on assessing street conditions. On the 29th, we had a meeting with online meeting with Matt Graham with KDOT, who's the project manager over this walking trail that's going on now, and with Chris Minen, who's been doing the engineering work. There's been some disconnect on some of the final drawings, and so that meeting we were able to get the two parties together and talk about where the disconnect is and hopefully get those corrected. So the corrected drawings have been submitted to KDOT, so hopefully KDOT approves of everything and we can get that project out to bid and get that walking trail moving forward.
Do you have a copy of that in your office? Or does Josh have the walking trail, the way you're completing it? You got it in your office?
I have a map that shows where that one is and some of the other proposals.
Okay.
It basically leaves Paris Park and follows the canal, the Milk Canal. And then when it gets down to the First Street, it goes over to Taylor.
It's originally going to be Tyler, but I think we had some problems with that. It's not where we ended on that. That may be part of the revisions to the plan.
Yeah. And then it goes down to Summit and follows Summit to Lincoln, and then Lincoln up to tying with the levee trail there. So it'll create a complete loop then. So Winfield City Manager and myself met with the county administrator today. We're talking about the ambulance funding and fire district funding. The county is looking to do something different with their budget, and in order for them to do that, we're going to have to change the way our agreements are with them. So we're working through that, how that looks for them and how we stay whole and continue to increase our funding as needed, because obviously the cost of operating fire and ambulances is not going to go down. It continues to go up every year. So I think we're pretty good shape there. The last 3 years, we were not fully funded as the agreement was supposed to be. And Lucas has told us and basically confirmed that we will get those dollars that we were not paid in the last 3 years. So that'll make us whole, and then we'll have a plan forward for the next several years on what that agreement looks like. And then Larry and I are going to be meeting with the attorneys at Folsom Siefkin and the other cities that participated in the rate case, Evergy rate case on streetlights. We'll get the final details of what that looks like, and then obviously there was in our original agreement with them a fee that we were to pay if they were successful. Now they were successful, but not in the way that we all originally anticipated them to be successful. So that'll be another thing that we got to work out is how do we compensate them for their work on that? So there's some work to do there yet. We got an email from the Affordable Equity Partners. That's the development group that's wanting to build apartments on Skyline. And they have been invited to submit a full application to the Kansas Housing Resource Corp. if you recall, when they were in, they were going to do a preliminary application. And then if that was successful, they would be invited to do full, and they have been. So I think that has to be in by May 10th. And so, and again, this kind of dances with the master planning that we're doing out there and on that property too. So Josh has been involved in those things. So, but we'll keep you posted on that. But that was a positive thing for our community that project was invited to apply. Again, competitive doesn't mean they end up getting the tax credits, but at least it's a positive thing. So Alfredo and his partners, they did not get their tax credits that they applied for. Mayor Warren and I, when we were coming back from Wichita, Alfredo called and we talked to him, and they are still moving forward with the project even without the tax credits. So
And that is the one out of Sleeth Edition.
yes, they still plan to move forward with that. Larry and I are supposed to meet with one of the partners to talk about the development agreement, but they never got back to us with the time.
You say they have or haven't?
Haven't yet. And then we're still waiting on the Brownsfield Phase 1 assessment on that property. It's Nick checked on it the other day, and something about a particular test they needed to do on that property. I think it had to do because of its proximity to the old refinery. They had to find another testing facility. So I don't know. That was their excuse, but it's still on the books and it's supposed to be moving forward. Update on the travel center. Right now, they're waiting for their stormwater pollution prevention plan to be approved and their permits to. I think that's the last holdup, isn't it, Josh? On them to start moving dirt. So that's kind of in the state's hands right now for those approvals to be done.
How long does that usually take, Josh, to get that approval?
I was told that could be at least 30 days from.
Well, did they apply last month for it, or?
Sometime last month. So.
Okay. So hopefully they'll get an answer.
Hopefully by 1st of April, they'll be.
Yeah, and I don't know how more complicated, since it's right there on a KDOT, right by KDOT right of ways and stuff. I don't know, that may make it a little more complicated than a normal one. So, and then finally, I did leave a copy of the purchase policy and procedures for you guys, just so you guys have that to kind of know. And again, if as a group you see anything that you don't feel is adequate or needs to be revived, we can take a look at that. And I think it's a fairly good policy and follow it from.
Is that going to be run through Tiffany, through the clerk's office?
Yeah, one of the things that one change I think we're going to make is currently on bidding. If it's over $10,000, which any purchase that we do over 10,000 comes to the commission. But in the bidding process, any bid that's over $10,000, those have to be submitted to the city clerk for processing. On lesser amounts, so anything under 10,000 department heads can handle and myself can handle. And so one of the things we want to change is on the bidding is having any bidded process, have those bids come to the city clerk so that it comes to one place and that it's opened in a consistent manner. Like, each bid is the same. We also want to make sure we get those out on the website. When we do put out bids, we want to make sure all the bids are on the website, because you send them out to people or companies and businesses that you think can handle it, but there may be somewhere out there that we just aren't aware of or what. So if it's on the website, again, trying to be transparent and open on these processes and just make them as fair as we can. So.
I did talk to our local business that lost the bid, and they realized their mistake was bidding the highest quality they could find. And I'm sure whoever bid the other bid was not the best quality.
Yeah.
And then they said, at least we learned something from this, so they know what to do from now on.
Well, and again, bids are so different too. If we need to stipulate what we need to stipulate exactly what we're wanting.
Right.
So that everybody's bidding apples to apples, oranges to oranges. And again, I wasn't part of that process, and I didn't see how it was done. So
No, that's the reason why you want to run through city clerk. You'll have consistency. you know, like somebody looking at you.
Give her something else.
Well,
That's right.
and department heads, hey, I love them all to death, but they got buddies or something. They're like, yeah, well, this is just something small. Okay, can you do this for us real quick? And a lot of times they're not even thinking, hey, I should have got a bid on this.
Yeah. And even business, you get a relationship with vendors.
Exactly.
Even in business, you have a relationship with your vendors and you get trust and sometimes you just, because you have that relationship and they're going to get you what you need and you trust it, you just do business with them. And that doesn't always mean that you're going to get the best price and sometimes the best price isn't as important as the quality and the service either. But yeah, there's all those relationship things that get mixed into it. So having a good policy, adhering to it helps us navigate some of those things as best we can. And there'll always be something, but hopefully we do the best we can, be as fair as we can, and the most responsible we can be with tax dollars. That's the biggest job we have here too. So I have nothing else.
Anybody else?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries.
So Twee's been on here before.